Hello my sweets, welcome to today's tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to draw 3 easy chibi poses. So let's get started. If you watched my other chibi tutorial video, you might see this technique that I use where I stack up 3 big round shapes on top of each other to form the outline of the chibi's body. We're going to do something similar here for the first one, but instead of 3 circles, we will just make 2. This is because this first pose is of a cute little chibi sitting on the floor with the body bent over so much about all of the body will fit into just one circle as large as the head. Let's draw a little cross on this top circle. We have it angled a little bit to the side. This will be the vertical dividing line of the face, and this is the line that helps us place the eyes. And these are tilted because the chibi is looking up. Now darken the edges of the circle around just to this eye line. We want it to be a nice smooth shape. And then from the eye line we will make a little curve on this side and then round it out and back down to the bottom of the circle, and this will form the cheek. We will not be doing the same on this side. Instead, when we get close to this line for the eyes, we will draw a little teardrop shape or something like a half heart for the ear. To add detail to the ear, you just add this little hook that looks almost like the number 5 or a stylized H, whichever you prefer. Alright, that is the head guidelines ready for us to come back to and work with later. Now let's do the body. Cut off some of the edges of this circle so that it looks like a really fat triangle with a rounded bottom. We do this because this is the angle the spine is at. So this will be the back of the body and this will be the front. Draw a line cutting it approximately in half. This is where the waist will be. Alright, since this little guy is sitting down, we will draw a curve coming up from the top of the triangle down to the corner. We won't be drawing precisely on this curve, but I just want to have it there so that we can see how the body will be folded. We'll do basically the same thing on this side and make a stop marker, and then erase the guidelines around it. Alright, here comes the fun part. We're going to place the limbs now. Draw a small triangle on the bottom of this line. This is for the hips, and this is where the legs will attach. You can go ahead and sketch in some fat little noodle shapes here for the legs, and then some more fat little noodle shapes for the arms. One will be close to the back here, and the other will be coming around the body to rest on the ground. So this is a pose that you might see babies in photographs doing, sitting flat on the ground with their hands also planted on the ground, leaning slightly forward. This is a very cute pose that is good for ultra kawaii characters or kitty characters. Alright, time to adjust the position and proportions. The back will have a small curve which comes in and then curves out again at the waist for a pudgy little bottom. From this bottom, we will bring the leg out slightly more to our right. We will also move this arm. We will bring the shoulder down slightly so that it can rest on the ground like the other arm. Then I'm just going to adjust the angle of this leg. And let's add the hands and feet. For the hands, we will draw these little oval shapes that come out to rest firmly on the ground, and the feet will point straight up. So just draw this little hook on the end of the leg, erase the leg that's beneath it, and then fill this in with an oval so that you can see that it's the bottom of the foot. Do the same with this leg also, but since it's facing us, it will be a lot larger. Alright, now I'm just going to clean up these lines slightly, and then we will put in the neck. You will only get to see a tiny bit of the neck. Remember, even though the Chibi's heads are very big, the neck is not going to be thick to accommodate that. A Chibi with a thick neck will typically have a strangely muscular look and might not be as cute as you want. So go with a very thin neck that is proportionate to this tiny body, if not to the head that it's supporting. Alright, now we can move on to the face. We're going to draw 2 big ovals on either side of the vertical dividing line, and then we can erase these guidelines. Draw this very lightly. The eyes and other facial features are often difficult to place, so you might end up drawing this step over and over. Also, remember, bigger is not always better for Chibi characters. There are very cute Chibis with small eyes, so don't overdo this. To make your Chibi look lively, draw the eyelid a little bit above the iris. Like so. We just draw these 2 simple little hooks above this gigantic, cute iris. And then let's put in a tiny little mouth. The mouth is often very high up on a Chibi, and it's rare to find a nose. So just draw a tiny little circle that is open at the bottom. I'm going to shade these eyes in very quickly, just so that we can see exactly how cute he is. Eyebrows are very high up on this forehead. Often a Chibi's eyebrows are obscured by the hair, but that's still cute. Alright, time to go and clean up these lines before we move on to the next pose. Alright, now we have cute Chibi pose number 1. Let's move on to the next guy. Alright, let's move on to the next pose. This time we will be doing a very angry little Chibi. And this pose is pretty easy to draw. We will again be working with just 2 circles, because he's so angry that he's really hunched over and staring at you like an angry dog or something. I don't know. Anyways, he's hunched over a lot. We will divide these circles in half vertically, and then both of them horizontally. Let's do the head first, like usual. He's going to have most of his features placed way down here, so I will just add a curve under this dividing line to remind myself of that. That will mean that the curve of the cheeks will come down much lower than they did on the other Chibi. Big pudgy curves on both sides of the face, since he is looking directly at us. Then some ears. Again, very low on the face. Tiny little half heart or teardrop shapes. We can then erase some of these. Oops. Let me fasten this paper down before we continue. Alright, so we also want to clean up the top of the head. We want it to be nice and smooth. So let's do that. His expression is pretty easy. We're going to have empty, angry eyes, which is basically like a sort of hook shape on both sides of the face with these sort of sketchy lines underneath. And then really bushy, angry eyebrows. You can even add a little hook on the end of them, so there's like his face is all wrinkled up, he's so angry. This sketchy look is really good for doing intense emotions like this anger, because it looks like the drawing is shaking. His mouth can be as big as you want and in any kind of shape. You can do a funny shape like this, or a more cartoony shape that is higher at one end than at the other, and you can even bring this mouth down off the cheeks a little bit. Even though he wouldn't have sharp teeth in a normal situation, when he gets angry, we will give him lots of sharp, angry teeth. Rawr. Alright, now that we've got the head done, let's move on to the body. So his body will be kind of hunched over, and he will have his arms at his sides out like he's ready to start punching someone. And the arms will actually follow the curve of this circle, so that's going to be very useful. First things first, turn this into a triangle and add a tiny triangle at the bottom. This is going to be his body, like from the waist up. Add some little curves in this so that it looks more natural. And then his legs are spread wide apart in a fighting ready stance. I'm going to just bring this hip in a little bit more. The legs will extend a little below the circle. Then we can erase the circle up until this point above the dividing line. If you want to draw his feet right now, it'll be pretty easy. All you have to do is a half circle. Alright, now for this angry little man's arms. We don't have to do little segments for the muscles like we usually do. We can just do little curves like macaroni noodles. And these will stop around the waist. And then we will do these angry claw-like hands. We will start with two edges on the sides like the corners of a square, another corner on the inside that mirrors this one, and then claws. Drawing hands is really easy with chibis, because if you make a mistake you can just say, oh, that's because he's really angry or because she's really happy. It's supposed to look all stylized. And that is all we have to do for the arms. You can add some detail to the legs if you want. I'm going to slightly segment them. To do a Chibi wrinkles effect, you can also do these lines. Just a few straight lines right above the eyes or in the forehead area. And let's not forget to give him these angry marks. If you want to, you can also put in like some Japanese words, Japanese sound effects, to give the drawing a more authentic touch. This is sort of like a sound effect for being annoyed. Ira, ira. So you can use this, and everybody will know that this Chibi is seriously angered. Alright, let's move on to the third and final Chibi pose. Alright, this final Chibi is a really happy one. And we're going to use the 3-circle method for this pose. So let's begin. Three circles, super sketchy circles of about the same size. Let's just make this top circle a little bit bigger. Alright, this is a dancing pose. Our Chibi is going to have her head tilted to the side, like this, while her body is more to our right. So there's going to be a curve of motion that follows this path. So let's start with the head. As usual, we will make this into a nice clean circle up until this horizontal line, where we will curve it into the cheek. And then add the ear. And then erase the guidelines. Alright, I'm just going to add the neck here so that we know where to start the triangle for the body. So the body will be tilted like so, while the legs go in this direction. We can now erase these circles. So it looks sort of like a head on top of an ice cream cone. Alright, let's draw thin lines for the arms. And then we will make a small triangle on the bottom of this larger one. And start adding the legs. One leg will be planted on the ground while the other leg is up in the air. Alright, from this point we will draw some more of the leg and curve it in slightly before adding a little hook at the bottom for a foot, like she's spinning on her heel with her toes pointed up. Erase some of the outside of the leg so that we can add the curve of the calf muscle. Then curve the body out. And again, erase guidelines. Alright, the next leg is pretty simple. All we have to do is draw this sort of rounded triangle shape. Add another line beneath it. And then add a half circle for the foot. Then erase the guidelines. Alright, the lower body is done. Now let's move on to the arms. We want the arms to follow these curved movements. So let's draw some cylinders that curve along with them. Since we're not using rulers or anything, you'll just have to use instinct to see when the arms are too long. So long legs are normal in manga, but long arms don't seem to be a thing yet. And now we can add the hands. This hand will be flipped up behind her, while this hand will be facing front. So the two hands are pointing in opposite directions at each other. Alright, let's clean this up a little and then add detail. Alright, time for the face. This expression will be pretty easy. She's got her eyes closed in a happy way. Happy eyes generally have the eyelids angled upwards. You might recognize this from emojis, while sad eyes have it angled down. So let's draw some upward angling eyelashes for her. Just a quick upside down U shape. Then we will make this thicker so that she looks really cute. You can even add some eyelashes, just a little curved line coming off the middle. Eyebrows go up high above the face, and we'll have a cute little rounded triangular mouth that is open at the bottom and a little half curve at the top for teeth. Before we finish up, we have to draw on the fingers. So we have a tiny little curve up here, and then some more. I'm actually just doing random lines here, so these fingers aren't perfect. They really don't have to be on a chibi. And don't forget this line here to show the palm of the hand. On this side, the thumb goes straight out, and the fingers are up top. So I guess she's spinning around, having fun. If you want a Japanese sound effect for spinning, you could always try like guru guru. I think that's it. Yeah, guru guru is like spinning. Alright, that is it for this tutorial. Today we learned 3 all new chibi poses for you to customize and draw for your own characters. I hope this video was useful to you sweets. I will continue doing how to draw videos with chibis. We'll be doing chibi clothes, chibi shading, chibi coloring, chibis interacting with each other, and other fun things. And I am open to requests, so if you have an idea for a tutorial, let me know and I will see about making it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to be a sweet and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all my new videos. I will see you sweets later. Bye!